Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to give you a countdown of the 5 highest paid wideouts. In 5th place, you have Nelson Aguilar, who's making an astounding $14.8 million this year. What? Followed by DeAndre Hopkins at 15.7, Cooper Kupp at 17.8, Keenan Allen, 19.2 million, deservedly so despite injuries, is only in 2nd place. Do you guys know who is the highest paid wide receiver today in the NFL this year? That would be New York Giants wide receiver Kenny Golladay. Many football fans know that Kenny Golladay has not lived up to expectations for his contract for what it was worth, signing with the Giants in 2021 for 4 years and $72 million. But I was curious to know just how deep it went. Why did he get the contract in the first place? Is there any hope for redemption for Kenny Golladay? Well, today we're going to talk about this former Lions draft pick who had a very promising start, which ended up being one of the worst signings in NFL history. What to do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Triple DS. I just really wanted to quickly give you guys a big thank you for the Josh Rosen video that I made last week. I couldn't have done this without you guys. You guys have pushed this to beyond my own expectations. I'm super thankful, y'all, and I'm really hoping that this is just the beginning of something truly special that I can create on the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, feel free to drop a like, comment, subscribe, turn those notifications on. This is a channel that's primarily about football, albeit if you dig back deep enough, this was more of a reaction video before. So if either you're a cup of tea, definitely hit that subscribe button, y'all. Without adding too much else, let's get right back into it and talk about Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay was a phenomenal talent when he played in Northern Illinois for college, thus earning him a draft selection from the Detroit Lions in the 3rd round. And after a so-so rookie year where it's understandable he didn't produce that much, and I'll leave the stats right on the screen, it was definitely a promise of things that could be for this prospect. He was a tall, physical wideout that the Lions could definitely trust and could build upon in the years to come. Keep in mind that in 2017, the injury bug already starts to hit Kenny, as he missed 5 games with a hamstring injury. In his sophomore season, Kenny Golladay does step it up, and he has 70 catches for over 1,000 pass yards and 5 touchdowns. When you think about who the Lions were just a few years ago, hell, when you think of the Lions even now, it's definitely promising to see someone produce for you in this regard, and it's just his 2nd year. But in his 3rd year, the training wheels were off, and Kenny Golladay was surging, and I should know, I had him in fantasy. He dominated in 2019. In this breakout year, he had 65 catches, so 5 less than last year, but over 1,200 pass yards. So even with less catches, he had way more yards, and he led the NFL in receiving touchdowns at 11. And if you needed proof of how dominant Kenny Golladay was, look no further than the Lions Thanksgiving game against the Bears, where with just 4 receptions, he was able to amass over 150 yards, which included a 75-yard touchdown. Overall, it looks like he's the next big thing at wideout. For the most part, it looked like he put the injury bug behind him, and year 3 was one to remember. But it came crashing down back to earth in year 4. Keep in mind, for a rookie, year 4 is the big one where you have to prove that you've earned this contract, you've earned your extension. In 2020, he misses 11 games with another hamstring injury. And this hamstring injury continued to haunt him up until contract talks, because the Lions not only opted to not use the franchise tag on Kenny Golladay, contract negotiations were at a full-on halt. From what I found out, it appears that Kenny Golladay was asking for way too much money, and the Lions felt that he wasn't worth it given his injury history and the fact that he missed 11 games this previous year. So both parties were completely on opposite ends of a contract negotiation. Thus, Kenny Golladay was officially a free agent after this year. Although his injury did stop the Lions from giving Kenny Golladay an extension, it did not stop the New York Giants, who were in desperate need of a wide receiver upgrade. This upcoming year was a significant one because this marked year 3 for the Daniel Jones experiment, and Saquon Barkley was coming off of a torn ACL. The pass catchers going into 2021 pre-Kenny Golladay were Darius Slayton and Evan Ingram. So clearly the need was there, and the Giants made an offer to Kenny that he could not refuse. He signs for 4 years and $72 million. So it did feel like a perfect fit. Daniel Jones needs to prove something here in year 3, and you need to take the pressure off of Saquon, who is, coming off of a catastrophic injury. It made sense. Kenny Golladay did show, not even flashes, he showed that he was a dominant wideout, but for one reason or another, it just was not working. In 14 games, Kenny Golladay had 37 receptions for just over 500 yards and 0 touchdowns. A far cry from 11 just 2 years ago. The Giants this year finished 4-13, and Joe Judge, the head coach at the time, is fired. Relieving Judge, we have Brian Daboll, and as we know right now, this is me recording this after week 9 if I'm not mistaken, the Giants are 6-2. With Brian Daboll, it seems like there is a burst of energy in this New York team, and it hasn't really changed that much from the year prior. Like I said, the Giants are 6-2, and it's not because of Kenny Golladay, it's in spite of Kenny Golladay. Through 8 games that the Giants have played, granted, Kenny Galladay's only played in 4 of them. He has 2 receptions for 22 yards. Now, you may be wondering, at the very least in those 4 games, why wasn't he targeted? Why wasn't he throwing the football more often? The reason being is that Brian Daboll wants to see it on the field. Yeah, you got this big contract, but what are you showing in practice? And there's leaked videos of Kenny Golladay just giving what looks like 0 effort, and unless it's because of an injury, you can't really look at this tape and think this guy is gonna start. And a very, very big thing about 2022, this is something I said at the beginning of this video, Kenny Golladay is the highest paid wide receiver this year, and this guy has 2 catches for 22 yards to show for it, and that happened in week 1. So if you break down the numbers, he has made over 10 million for each of his catches, and if you want to break it down even further, he has made almost $1 million for every yard that he's gained. That is some finesse, astronomically finessing numbers that I don't know what, I'm making up words right now, but you guys get how wild that sounds. Yes, I know it's been injuries, but it's just, even when he wasn't hurt, you can't even blame Daniel Jones because he's getting it done. If you've watched any tape of the Giants this year, and I guess the next logical question would be, well, why don't the Giants just release him? Just cut your losses. I mean, they got rid of Kadarius Toney rather quickly. The thing is, Kenny Golladay was guaranteed $14 million at the start of this season. So that means 2 things. 1, most teams, in fact, all 31 other teams, are not going to want to take on this contract given his injury history and his production. And the Giants just can't cut him because it'd be so much money lost if you were to just cut him right now. So my thing is, if he can't get healthy or play better when he comes back, I think he's just going to ride the bench and be an inactive player until maybe the end of this year. And from then, I think the worst of it is over. I think his contract does lower a little bit.
Nope.
And that might be it. I think this is one of the last times we'll hear about Kenny Golladay. At this rate, halfway through the season, do you really want to put in somebody who might throw off the flow of this offense that seems to be firing on all cylinders? Things could change. Maybe I didn't see something. Maybe he was injured in these low effort plays. In short, ladies and gentlemen, I just really wanted to talk about this guy because to me, it was absolutely crazy that this guy is the highest paid receiver, yet this is the production you've seen so far. And I just wanted to showcase why he was given that contract to begin with. It really feels like it's on the levels of Albert Haynesworth's 7-year, $100 million deal. Once you get that money, man, sometimes people just stop caring. And I'm not accusing Kenny of that, but the evidence, is a little bit brutal, to defend him. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's just been an unfair injury plagued 2 years? Or did Kenny Golladay just pack his bags and go once he got paid? If this is your first time on the channel, feel free to drop a like, comment, subscribe, turn those notifications on. Thank you guys again for your support on the Josh Rosen video, and if you guys have another player you guys want me to talk about next, leave it in the comments too. I'll see y'all next time. Shaboy!